The UES Defiance moved through the darkness of the outer rim like a ghost, its metamaterial hull rendering it nearly invisible to the sensor arrays of conventional galactic technology. Captain Ryan Brooks stood on the bridge, watching the tactical displays that showed Void Hunter movements throughout this sector of space. For 3 days they had been tracking the alien formations, learning their patterns and behaviors. Lieutenant Sam Rodriguez monitored the ship's advanced sensor systems from his tactical station. "Captain, I am detecting increased bioship activity near the Kepler mining colonies. The formations are larger than anything in our intelligence reports. The Void Hunters were unlike any other species in the galaxy. Their ships were grown rather than built. Massive organic vessels that could adapt and regenerate damage in real time. They traveled in hive formations, with hundreds of smaller attack craft swarming around larger motherships that served as mobile breeding grounds." Commander Lisa Park studied the sensor readings with concern. "Sir, these numbers suggest they are preparing for something much larger than routine raids. This looks like the beginning of a major incursion." Brooks nodded as he processed the information. The Defiance had been sent to this region to test human technology against a known threat, but they were witnessing the early stages of what could become the largest Void Hunter attack in decades. Chess. The ship's AI materialized on the main display screen as shifting geometric patterns. Analysis of enemy movement patterns suggests coordinated assault preparation. Current formations indicate targeting of 17 inhabited systems within this sector. Dr. Lisa Hayes worked at the science station, analyzing the bioships through instruments that could perceive details invisible to galactic sensors. "Captain, the Void Hunter vessels are showing unusual modifications. Their regeneration rates appear to be 50% higher than previous encounters. The implications were troubling. If the Void Hunters had improved their already formidable ability to repair battle damage, they would be even more difficult for galactic forces to defeat using conventional tactics." A new contact appeared on the tactical display, and Rodriguez quickly identified it as a Galactic Defense Patrol. 3 cruisers approaching from the Zephyrian sector. Designations show them as the Crystal Song, Harmony of Light, and Voice of Peace. Brooks watched as the Zephyrian patrol moved directly toward the largest concentration of Void Hunter forces. The crystal-based aliens were known for their advanced shielding technology and powerful plasma weapons, but they fought using traditional galactic doctrine that relied on superior firepower and defensive strength. "Crystal Singer Velta is commanding the patrol," Park reported after intercepting their communications. "She is requesting reinforcements, but the nearest galactic forces are 6 hours away." The Void Hunters had detected the approaching patrol and were moving to intercept. Brooks could see on his displays how the bioships were positioning themselves in a classic envelopment pattern. The aliens had learned galactic tactics over centuries of warfare and knew how to counter them effectively. "Captain," Rodriguez said urgently, "the Void Hunters are launching attack craft. Estimated strength is over 2,000 individual biofighters." The battle began exactly as Brooks had expected. The Zephyrian cruisers formed a defensive triangle, their crystalline hulls glowing as energy shields reached maximum power. Plasma cannons opened fire at extreme range, sending streams of superheated matter toward the approaching swarm. The Void Hunter attack craft moved like living things, twisting and diving through the plasma barrage with organic grace. Their biohulls absorbed much of the damage, and any destroyed fighters were quickly replaced by new ones launching from the motherships. "The galactic ships are fighting exactly by their training manuals," Chess observed. "Predictable formations, standard firing patterns, and defensive postures that have not changed in 3 centuries." Brooks made a command decision that would change the course of galactic history. "All stations prepare for combat. We are going to intervene." Park looked at him with surprise. "Sir, our orders were to observe and gather intelligence, not to engage in direct combat." "Our orders were to test human technology against the Void Hunters," Brooks replied firmly. "This is our test. Mr. Rodriguez, charge the quantum disruptor array. Dr. Hayes, prepare full stealth decloak on my command." The Defiance moved closer to the battle, still invisible to both sides. On the tactical display, Brooks could see that the Zephyrian ships were already taking heavy damage. The Voice of Peace had lost its forward shields, and the Harmony of Light was reporting engine failures. "Bioships are adapting to Zephyrian weapon frequencies," Hayes reported. "Their hulls are becoming increasingly resistant to plasma damage. The patrol is losing effectiveness with each minute of combat. Rodriguez completed his targeting calculations. Quantum disruptor array is charged and ready. I have clean targeting solutions on all major Void Hunter vessels. The battle reached its climax as the Crystal Song took a direct hit from a massive bioprojectile that punched through its crystalline armor. The ship began venting atmosphere and falling out of formation, leaving the remaining 2 cruisers to face the entire Void Hunter force alone. Now, Brooks ordered, decloak and fire. The Defiance appeared in the middle of the battlefield like a materializing nightmare. Its dark hull seemed to absorb the light from weapon discharges around it, making the ship appear as a void in space itself. The quantum disruptor array charged with energy that existed outside normal electromagnetic spectrum. The first shot from the Defiance struck the largest Void Hunter mothership. Instead of the expected explosion or energy discharge, the biovessel simply began to dissolve. The quantum disruptor had identified the specific molecular bonds that held the organic hull together and disrupted them at the subatomic level. Target destruction confirmed, Rodriguez reported with amazement in his voice. The entire bioship structure is breaking down at the molecular level. The Void Hunter swarm reacted with confusion, as their largest vessel simply fell apart without any visible cause. Their hive mind intelligence had never encountered a weapon that could destroy them in such a manner. Chess rapidly calculated new targeting solutions. Recommendation: target the bioship's regeneration matrix rather than their hull structure. This will prevent adaptation and healing. The Defiance fired again, this time targeting the quantum field that enabled Void Hunter regeneration. The effect spread through the enemy formation like a plague, as bioships lost their ability to repair damage or replace destroyed components. Crystal singer Velta transmitted on all frequencies, her musical voice filled with disbelief. Unknown vessel, identify yourself immediately. Your weapons technology is beyond our understanding. Brooks activated the communication system. This is Captain Ryan Brooks of the UES Defiance. Earth sends its regards. The remaining Void Hunter forces attempted to retreat, but the Defiance's quantum drives allowed it to match their movements with impossible precision. Within minutes, the entire enemy formation had been eliminated without a single human casualty. The Zephyrian patrol floated in space, their crews staring at sensor readings that made no sense according to galactic understanding of physics. The mysterious human ship had appeared from nowhere, destroyed an entire Void Hunter force using unknown weapons, and done it all in less than 10 minutes. Captain, Park said quietly, we have just announced humanity's presence to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible. Brooks studied the tactical display, where the debris of Void Hunter bioships drifted in expanding clouds of organic matter. The galaxy dismissed us as primitives with inferior technology. I think we have corrected that misunderstanding. Dr. Hayes was already analyzing the battle results. The quantum disruptor performed beyond all expectations. We have proven that precision and innovation can triumph over raw force and numbers. Rodriguez monitored galactic communication networks as news of the battle spread. Sir, reports of this engagement are already reaching the inner systems. Some are calling it impossible. Others are demanding explanations. The Defiance engaged its stealth systems and disappeared from sensor contact, leaving the Zephyrian patrol alone with their damaged ships and their impossible memories. Crystal singer Velta would spend hours trying to explain to her superiors how a single, unknown vessel had accomplished what an entire galactic battle fleet might have struggled to achieve. Chess displayed probability calculations on the main screen. Enemy adaptation to our tactics will require approximately 6 months of analysis. We have established significant technological advantage over current galactic military doctrine. Brooks looked at his crew, seeing the same excitement and pride in their faces that he felt in his own heart. The Defiance had proven that human ingenuity could challenge the fundamental assumptions of galactic warfare. Set course for the next patrol sector, he ordered. We have more tests to conduct, and the galaxy has more lessons to learn about underestimating humanity. As the Defiance moved deeper into Void Hunter territory, its crew carried with them the knowledge that they had just fired the first shots in a revolution that would transform galactic civilization forever. Kate Morrison walked through the long hallway of the Nexus space station, her black diplomatic suit crisp and formal against the strange alien architecture around her. The walls seemed to pulse with a soft blue light that came from crystals grown into the metal itself. She had been preparing for this moment for 3 years, ever since Earth had made first contact with the Galactic Council. Today would decide if humans could join the greatest military alliance in known space. Admiral Jack Sullivan walked beside her, his gray uniform decorated with medals from Earth's space conflicts. His weathered face showed no emotion, but Kate knew he was thinking about the same thing she was. Behind them, Dr. Lisa Hayes carried a small device containing all of humanity's technological achievements. The three of them represented the entire human race in this crucial meeting. The main council chamber was massive, with seats arranged in circles that rose up toward a domed ceiling. Each alien species had their own section designed for their unique body types. The Zephyrians sat in crystal pods that amplified their musical voices. The Corvant delegation stood at tall metal platforms that could support their heavy armored bodies. Dozens of other species filled the remaining spaces, creating a rainbow of colors and shapes that Kate had never seen before. High Counselor Zethron of the Zephyrians spoke first, his crystal body catching the chamber's light as musical tones flowed from his form. The translation device in Kate's ear converted his words into English. "The human delegation seeks membership in our defense initiative. Tell us, small beings, what makes your species worthy of joining forces that have protected the galaxy for 300 years? Kate stepped forward to the speaking platform at the center of the chamber. "Honorable counselors, humanity offers innovation, determination, and fresh perspectives to your alliance. We have survived wars, disasters, and countless challenges on our homeworld. Our scientists have developed new technologies that could benefit all species." A rumbling laugh echoed from the Corvanth section. War Chief Thrax rose from his platform, his massive metal exoskeleton gleaming under the lights. "Fresh perspectives. How amusing. Your species has been in space for barely 2 centuries. We Corvanth have been warriors for 10,000 years. What could infants teach the galaxy about warfare?" Dr. Hayes activated her device, projecting holographic displays of human technology into the center of the chamber. Ships, weapons, and defensive systems rotated slowly in the air, showing Earth's most advanced designs. Several alien representatives leaned forward to get a better look, but most seemed unimpressed. Nexus Prime, the floating gas being that served as the Council's military advisor, drifted closer to examine the projections. Its voice was like wind through metal tubes. "Interesting designs, but primitive compared to galactic standards. Your largest vessel measures only 800 meters in length. Our escort fighters are larger than your battleships." More projections appeared around the chamber, showing the massive warships of the Galactic Alliance. Kate felt her heart sink as she saw the size difference. The smallest alien cruiser was 3 times larger than Earth's mightiest dreadnought. Their weapons could crack moons, and their shields had never been broken in combat. Counselor Velta of the Aquatic Federation spoke with bubbling sounds that translated into dismissive words. "Your technology appears to focus on efficiency rather than raw power. This suggests weakness. How can beings who build such small ships hope to stand against real threats to galactic peace?" Admiral Sullivan finally spoke, his voice calm but firm. "Size is not everything in warfare. Humans have learned to be creative with limited resources. We have won battles against superior numbers and technology through tactics and innovation." The chamber filled with sounds that Kate realized were laughter from dozens of different species. The musical chimes of the Zephyrians mixed with the grinding mechanical sounds from the Corvanth and the bubbling from the Aquatic Federation. Even species she could not identify seemed amused by Sullivan's statement. "Tactics." War Chief Thrax repeated the word like it was a joke. "Small creatures always claim they can defeat strength with cleverness. But when real war comes, only power matters. Your tactics mean nothing against ships that can destroy planets." High Counselor Zethron's crystal body brightened as he spoke again. "The Council has reviewed your request and your presentations. While we appreciate your enthusiasm, humanity simply lacks the strength to contribute meaningfully to galactic defense. Your ships are too small, your weapons too weak, and your experience too limited." Kate felt anger rising in her chest but kept her voice steady. "We ask only for the chance to prove ourselves. Give us a trial membership, a test mission, anything to show what humans can accomplish." The floating form of Nexus Prime circled the chamber, its gaseous body shifting colors as it calculated. "The mathematics are clear. Human forces would require protection rather than providing it. Adding your species to our alliance would make us weaker, not stronger. Other council members began speaking at once, their various languages creating a cacophony of sound even through the translation devices. Kate caught fragments of their words: primitive, inferior, amusing, hopeless. The message was clear without needing perfect translation. Councillor Zethron raised his crystalline arm, and the chamber fell silent. The Galactic Council's decision is unanimous. Humanity's request for membership in the Defense Initiative is denied. Perhaps in a few thousand years, when your species has matured, we can revisit this discussion. Kate looked at Admiral Sullivan and Dr. Hayes, seeing her own disappointment reflected in their faces. But Sullivan gave her a small nod, and she understood. They had expected this outcome and prepared for it. The human delegation accepts the Council's decision, Kate said formally. We will return to Earth and inform our government of your response. However, we want the Council to know that humanity will not simply wait for your approval. We will prove our worth through actions rather than words. War Chief Thrax laughed again. Bold words from such a small species. We look forward to seeing what great deeds you accomplish with your tiny ships and weak weapons. As the three humans left the chamber, Dr. Hayes activated a small recording device, capturing the aliens' continued laughter and dismissive comments. The message would be transmitted to Earth within hours, along with detailed scans of the alien technologies they had observed. Walking back through the crystal-lit corridors, Admiral Sullivan spoke quietly to his companions. They think we are weak because our ships are small. They measure strength only by size and raw power. That gives us an advantage they do not expect. Kate nodded, already thinking about the message she would send to Earth Command. The galaxy had shown its hand today, revealing not just their massive technological superiority, but also their arrogance and rigid thinking. Humans would need to use different approaches, tactics the aliens could not predict or counter. Dr. Hayes smiled as she sealed the recording device. Wait until they see what we have been building in the Titan shipyards. Size is not everything, just like the Admiral said. Sometimes the smallest key opens the largest door. The three humans boarded their small shuttle and departed the Nexus station, carrying with them the knowledge that would change everything. The galaxy had dismissed humanity as primitive and weak. Soon they would learn how dangerous it could be to underestimate the human spirit. Captain Ryan Brooks stood on the observation deck of the Titan shipyards, watching the most ambitious project in human history take shape before his eyes. The massive construction facility floated in the shadow of Saturn's largest moon, hidden from casual observation by layers of stealth technology and military security. Few people in the galaxy knew this place existed, and fewer still knew what was being built here. The ship taking shape in the central construction bay looked nothing like the vessels humanity had shown to the Galactic Council. Where Earth's public fleet followed traditional designs with obvious weapons and thick armor plating, this ship seemed almost organic in its curves and flowing lines. Its hull was a dark gray material that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, giving the vessel an otherworldly appearance. Admiral Jack Sullivan joined Brooks on the observation deck, still wearing his dress uniform from the recent council meeting. His expression was grim as he watched the construction crews making final adjustments to the ship's exterior systems. The council's response was exactly what we expected, he said quietly. They see us as primitives playing with toys. Dr. Lisa Hayes emerged from a nearby lift, carrying a tablet filled with technical specifications and test results. Her eyes were bright with excitement despite the long hours she had been working. The quantum resonance tests were successful beyond our best projections. The disruptor array can identify and exploit weaknesses in any energy field we have tested against. Chief Engineer Maria Santos approached the group, her coveralls stained with the various fluids and compounds used in the ship's construction. All primary systems are online and functioning within normal parameters. The metamaterial hull is responding perfectly to command inputs. We can shift density, composition, and even basic shape on demand. Brooks nodded as he studied the vessel that would either make humanity a major galactic power or mark them for destruction. The ship was only 400 meters long, smaller than many alien escort vessels, but it contained technology that no other species had ever conceived. Every system had been designed from the ground up to work in ways the galaxy would not expect. The ship's artificial intelligence system had been the most challenging component to develop. Programmer Jake Miller had spent 5 years creating an AI that could learn and adapt in real time, something galactic civilizations considered impossible. Their AI systems were powerful but rigid, following predetermined patterns that could be predicted and countered. Chess is ready for final integration, Miller reported as he joined the group. The AI has already begun analyzing galactic combat footage and developing tactical responses. It thinks in ways that will confuse traditional military minds. Commander Lisa Park, who would serve as the ship's executive officer, reviewed crew assignments on her own tablet. We have 300 volunteers ready for deployment. Every person understands the risks and the importance of this mission. They also understand that failure means more than just defeat for humanity. Dr. Hayes activated a holographic display showing the ship's internal layout. The quantum disruptor array runs through the ship's central spine, drawing power from our new fusion cores. Instead of trying to overpower enemy shields with brute force, we analyze their quantum frequency and create resonance patterns that cause catastrophic failure. The display shifted to show the ship's defensive systems. Traditional galactic shields worked by absorbing or deflecting incoming energy, but human engineers had developed something entirely different. The ship's defensive fields could actually phase shift, allowing attacks to pass through harmlessly while maintaining protection against physical impacts. Admiral Sullivan studied the technical readouts with the eye of a career military officer. The stealth systems are the key to our strategy. If we can remain undetected until we choose to reveal ourselves, we can strike at times and places of our choosing. The stealth technology represented perhaps humanity's greatest breakthrough. While galactic civilizations used energy fields to bend light around their ships, human scientists had developed metamaterials that could actually alter their physical properties. The ship could become nearly transparent to most forms of detection while maintaining full combat capability. Captain Brooks walked closer to the observation window, placing his hand against the reinforced glass. How long until she's ready for trials? Maria Santos consulted her engineering schedules. Final systems integration will be complete in 72 hours. We can begin space trials immediately after that, assuming all safety checks pass. The ship's weapon systems were as revolutionary as everything else about the vessel. Instead of massive energy cannons that announced their presence across star systems, human engineers had developed precision instruments that could target specific molecular bonds or quantum fields. A single shot could disable an enemy vessel without destroying it, or cause catastrophic failure in systems that seemed completely protected. Dr. Hayes brought up another display showing the ship's engines. The quantum drives allow for instantaneous acceleration and deceleration without inertial effects on the crew. We can change direction and speed in ways that will make us nearly impossible to target with conventional weapons. The propulsion system worked by manipulating space-time itself, rather than pushing against it. This allowed the ship to achieve accelerations that would turn any organic crew into paste, while the passengers experienced only the gentlest sensation of movement. Jake Miller pulled up the AI interface on a nearby console. Chess has been studying galactic military doctrine for months. It has identified 17 major weaknesses in standard tactical approaches. Most galactic species fight the same way they have for thousands of years. The AI appeared on the screen as a simple geometric pattern that shifted and changed as it processed information, unlike the humanoid or abstract forms preferred by galactic AI systems. Chess had chosen an appearance that reflected its function as a tactical analysis system. "Greetings, Captain Brooks," the AI said in a voice that sounded almost human. "I have completed my analysis of probable enemy responses to our combat doctrine. Success probability is currently calculated at 87% for initial engagements." Admiral Sullivan smiled for the first time since returning from the council meeting. The galaxy thinks in terms of bigger ships and more powerful weapons. They have forgotten that intelligence and adaptability can triumph over raw force. Commander Park reviewed the mission parameters that had been developed over the past year. "Our first deployment will be to the Outer Rim, where Void Hunter activity has been increasing. Intelligence suggests they are preparing for a major incursion against galactic territory. The Void Hunters were one of the galaxy's greatest threats, a species that seemed to exist only to consume and destroy. Their biotechnology made them resistant to conventional weapons, and their hive mind coordination allowed them to adapt to enemy tactics within hours of first contact. Perfect test subjects," Brooks said grimly. "If we can defeat the Void Hunters using our new approach, It will send a message to every species in the galaxy. Dr. Hayes sealed her tablet and looked at the ship that represented years of work and humanity's greatest hopes. The UES Defiance is more than just a warship. It is proof that new ideas can triumph over old assumptions. The name had been chosen carefully. While galactic warships bore names that spoke of power and domination, humans had selected a word that captured their spirit of resistance against overwhelming odds. The Defiance would not just fight battles. It would challenge everything the galaxy thought it knew about warfare. Maria Santos began final preparations for the ship's maiden voyage. All construction crews will be off the vessel within 24 hours. After that, she belongs to Captain Brooks and his crew. As the group watched, the last external components were installed on the ship's hull. Weapons arrays, sensor clusters, and communication systems all disappeared beneath the metamaterial coating, making the vessel appear almost unarmed to casual observation. Admiral Sullivan placed his hand on Brooks's shoulder. "The fate of humanity rests with you and your crew. The galaxy has dismissed us as primitives. Show them what human ingenuity can accomplish." The Defiance began its first power-up sequence, and the observation deck filled with a subtle vibration as the ship's quantum cores came online. For the first time in galactic history, a vessel existed that could challenge the fundamental assumptions about space combat. Captain Brooks watched his ship come to life and felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. In 72 hours, the Defiance would leave Earth's solar system and venture into a galaxy that had no idea what was coming. 6 months after humanity's dramatic introduction to galactic affairs, Captain Ryan Brooks commanded a task force of 5 Defiance-class vessels as they patrolled the former Void Hunter territories. The UES Defiance led the formation, followed by her sister ships Resilience, Determination, Innovation, and Perseverance. Each vessel incorporated improvements learned from their initial encounters, making them even more formidable than their predecessor. The transformation of galactic politics had exceeded everyone's expectations. Species that had dismissed humanity as primitive now competed for Earth's attention and favor. Trade agreements arrived daily at human diplomatic stations, offering resources and technologies in exchange for access to human innovations. Ambassador Kate Morrison stood in the newly constructed human embassy on the Nexus station, reviewing a schedule packed with meetings from alien representatives. The same chamber where humanity had been rejected now hosted daily conferences about joint military operations, technology exchanges, and scientific cooperation. The Aquatic Federation is offering complete access to their bioengineering databases, she reported to Admiral Jack Sullivan during their morning briefing. They want human assistance in developing adaptive defense systems for their underwater cities. Sullivan nodded as he reviewed similar offers from dozens of other species. The Zephyrians have proposed a joint research initiative to combine their energy manipulation techniques with our quantum engineering. They believe the combination could revolutionize power generation. Dr. Lisa Hayes had established the Interspecies Technology Exchange in a massive research facility orbiting a neutral star system. Scientists from across the galaxy worked alongside human engineers to develop solutions that no single species could achieve alone. The collaboration had already produced breakthroughs in medical technology, environmental restoration, and defensive systems. "We completed the first prototype healing matrix yesterday," Hayes reported via secure communication. "Combining Zephyrian energy focusing with human quantum manipulation allows us to repair tissue damage at the molecular level. The applications are virtually limitless." The most significant change had occurred within the Galactic Defense Initiative itself. After witnessing human tactical effectiveness against the Void Hunters, the Council had voted unanimously to restructure their entire military doctrine around human innovations. Admiral Sullivan found himself in the unprecedented position of Supreme Military Advisor, with authority over all galactic defense forces. The irony was not lost on him that the species once dismissed as militarily insignificant now led the galaxy's combined armies. Traditional galactic warfare relied on overwhelming force and superior technology, he explained to a gathering of alien military commanders. Human doctrine emphasizes precision, adaptability, and exploiting enemy weaknesses rather than matching their strengths. War Chief Thrax of the Corvanth had become an unlikely ally and student of human tactics. His warrior culture struggled to adapt to concepts that valued intelligence over brute force. But the results spoke for themselves. "Your approach requires thinking rather than simply fighting," Thrax admitted during a strategy session. "Corvanth warriors must learn to be clever as well as strong. This challenges 10,000 years of tradition." The Void Hunter threat, which had terrorized galactic borders for decades, had been systematically eliminated through coordinated operations using human tactical doctrine. Instead of massive fleet battles that resulted in heavy casualties, human-led forces struck surgical blows that destabilized entire enemy formations. Captain Brooks reviewed the final reports from the Void Hunter campaign, while his task force prepared for their next mission. Hostile bioship presence has been reduced to scattered remnants hiding in deep space. The threat to galactic civilization has been effectively neutralized. The success against the Void Hunters had demonstrated to every species that human methods could solve problems that had seemed impossible using traditional approaches. Requests for human assistance poured in from across the galaxy. Commander Lisa Park coordinated with Galactic Intelligence Services to track down the remaining Void Hunter fragments. "Sir, we have confirmed sightings in the outer spiral regions. Recommend deployment of resilience and determination to investigate." The human fleet had grown to include 30 Defiance-class vessels, each one commanded by officers trained in the innovative tactics that had made humanity a galactic power. More ships were under construction as Earth's shipyards expanded to meet demand for human technology. Not all changes had been peaceful. The rigid hierarchy that had governed galactic politics for millennia was cracking under pressure from species that wanted to adopt human innovations. Some civilizations, particularly those built on military dominance, faced internal rebellions as their populations demanded access to human improvements. The Corvanth Empire experienced the most dramatic upheaval as their warrior culture grappled with the concept that intelligence could triumph over physical strength. Younger Corvanth embraced human tactical thinking, while traditionalists resisted changes that challenged their fundamental beliefs. Civil unrest continues in the Corvanth home systems, reported Intelligence Officer Mark Davis from his station aboard the Defiance. Progressive factions want immediate adoption of human military doctrine, while conservatives fear losing their cultural identity. War Chief Thrax had requested human assistance in resolving the crisis within his own people. "Your ways work, but they threaten everything Corvanth have believed for generations. Help us find balance between tradition and progress." Dr. Hayes had developed cultural integration protocols that allowed species to adopt human innovations while maintaining their unique identities. Technology should enhance existing cultures, not replace them. Each species can apply human principles in ways that fit their own values and traditions. The most ambitious project was the establishment of the New Frontier Initiative, a joint program to explore beyond the galactic rim and establish contact with civilizations that might exist in deep space. Humanity had volunteered to lead this effort, carrying with them the reputation of a species that could turn the impossible into reality. Captain Brooks received his new orders directly from Admiral Sullivan. The Defiance and her task force will spearhead the first deep space exploration mission in galactic history. Your objective is to establish contact with any civilizations beyond our current borders. The mission represented humanity's evolution from galactic outcasts to pioneers leading the way into the unknown. Other species looked to humans for guidance in facing challenges that required innovation rather than traditional solutions. Chess, the AI system that had helped revolutionize galactic warfare, had been upgraded with data from every species in the known galaxy. Probability calculations suggest a 73% chance of encountering advanced civilizations within 6 months of beginning deep space operations. As the human task force prepared for departure, representatives from dozens of species gathered to witness the launch. The same aliens who had once laughed at human technology now watched with respect and anticipation as Earth's finest vessels prepared to venture into the cosmic unknown. Ambassador Morrison delivered a speech that was broadcast throughout galactic space. Humanity embarks on this mission not as conquerors or explorers seeking glory, but as representatives of a galaxy that has learned to value cooperation over competition and innovation over tradition. High Counselor Zethran of the Zephyrians spoke for the entire Galactic Council. The humans carry with them our hopes for peaceful contact with whatever civilizations await beyond our borders. They have shown us that different approaches can achieve what seemed impossible. Captain Brooks took his position on the bridge of the Defiance as his task force activated their quantum drives. The ships that had once shocked the galaxy with their capabilities were now symbols of hope and progress for billions of beings across known space. All ships report ready for deep space transition, Commander Park announced from her station. The 5 human vessels disappeared into quantum space, carrying with them the dreams and aspirations of an entire galaxy. Behind them, the civilizations they left had learned that young species with fresh ideas could transform ancient assumptions and lead everyone toward a greater future. Dr. Hayes transmitted a final message to the research stations she had established. Continue the work of bringing species together through shared knowledge. The galaxy has proven that cooperation achieves more than competition. As the Defiance and her escorts ventured beyond the edge of known space, they represented more than just human achievement. They carried the proof that in a universe full of ancient and powerful civilizations, sometimes it takes newcomers with different perspectives to show everyone what becomes possible when intelligence triumphs over force and innovation conquers tradition. The warship that had once shook the galaxy with its impossible capabilities now led the way toward unlimited possibilities among the stars. The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened within hours of receiving Crystal Singer Velta's report. The massive chamber buzzed with nervous energy as representatives from dozens of species gathered to discuss what many considered impossible. High Counselor Zethron's crystalline form pulsed with agitated light patterns as he called the session to order. Fellow counselors, Zethron began, his musical voice carrying undertones of concern. We face a situation unprecedented in galactic history. A single unknown vessel has demonstrated capabilities that challenge our understanding of physical law. The main display activated, showing tactical recordings from the Zephyrian patrol's encounter with the mysterious ship. The assembled aliens watched in stunned silence as the dark vessel materialized from nowhere and systematically destroyed an entire Void Hunter force using weapons that seemed to dissolve matter itself. War Chief Thrax of the Corvanth rose from his platform, his massive armored form radiating skepticism. This recording must be falsified. No single ship can possess such power. The Void Hunters have resisted our combined fleets for centuries. Crystal Singer Velta stepped forward, her translucent body reflecting the chamber's lights. Honored War Chief, I stake my crystalline honor on the accuracy of these recordings. My sensor operators confirmed every detail. The unknown vessel appeared without warning, destroyed 12 major bioships in 7 minutes, then vanished completely. Nexus Prime drifted through the chamber, its gaseous form shifting colors as it processed the tactical data. Analysis confirms that conventional stealth technology cannot explain this vessel's appearance pattern. The ship materialized within our sensor grid without triggering any detection systems. The Aquatic Federation representative bubbled urgently from its environmental tank. More disturbing are reports from Corvanth space. 3 separate battle groups have encountered this same vessel or others like it. Each engagement resulted in total victory for the unknown force. War Chief Thrax's metal exoskeleton clanged as he shifted position. My warriors do not fabricate stories of defeat. The vessel rescued 2 of our battle groups from Void Hunter ambushes, then disappeared before we could demand explanations. Our proudest commanders owe their lives to unknown benefactors. Admiral Kethver of the Stellar Confederation activated additional displays showing combat footage from multiple encounters. 7 confirmed sightings across 4 sectors. Each time a single dark vessel appears, eliminates Void Hunter forces with impossible efficiency, then vanishes. The pattern suggests coordinated operations by an unknown fleet. The chamber erupted in discussions as various species tried to process information that contradicted everything they thought they knew about space warfare. The hive mind representative clicked and buzzed rapidly, its insectoid form twitching with agitation. This unknown force represents a potential threat to galactic stability, the hive mind declared through its translator. Any species capable of such technological advancement could challenge the existing order. We must identify and contain them before they become uncontrollable. High Counselor Zethron raised his crystalline arm for silence. The human delegation has requested another audience with this council. Given recent events, I believe we should hear what they have to say. The great doors of the chamber opened, and Ambassador Kate Morrison entered with the same companions who had been dismissed so contemptuously weeks earlier. Admiral Jack Sullivan's expression remained neutral, but Kate noticed a subtle confidence in his bearing that had not been there before. Dr. Lisa Hayes carried the same device she had brought to their previous meeting, but this time several council members leaned forward with genuine interest. The humans were no longer dismissed as primitive aliens seeking charity from their superiors. "Honorable councilors," Kate began, "humanity appreciates this opportunity to address recent events that have captured galactic attention." War Chief Thrax rumbled from his platform. "Do not waste our time with diplomatic pleasantries, human. Are your people responsible for the mysterious vessel that has been disrupting Void Hunter operations?" Admiral Sullivan stepped forward. "The UES Defiance is indeed a human warship, representing new developments in Earth's defensive capabilities. We apologize for not announcing our presence during combat operations, but circumstances required immediate action." The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The impossible vessel that had amazed and terrified galactic military forces was built by the same species they had dismissed as technologically inferior just weeks earlier. Dr. Hayes activated her device, but this time the holographic displays showed detailed technical specifications of the Defiance's systems. Quantum disruptor arrays, metamaterial hulls, adaptive AI systems, and propulsion technology that manipulated space-time itself. Nexus Prime drifted closer to examine the projections. These designs incorporate principles unknown to galactic science. How did a species we classified as primitive develop such advanced technology? By thinking differently, Dr. Hayes replied simply. While galactic civilizations pursued bigger ships and more powerful weapons, humans focused on efficiency, precision, and adaptability. We solved problems through innovation rather than brute force. Crystal Singer Velta studied the technical displays with fascination. "Your quantum disruptor technology targets molecular bonds, rather than attempting to overwhelm defensive systems. This approach bypasses traditional countermeasures entirely." Admiral Sullivan nodded. "The Defiance represents only the first of a new class of human warships. Earth's shipyards are currently constructing an entire fleet based on these principles." The words hit the chamber like a physical blow. If humans could build multiple vessels with such capabilities, they represented a major shift in galactic power balance. Species that had ruled through military might suddenly face obsolescence. War Chief Thrax spoke with unusual respect in his voice. "Your warriors saved the lives of thousands of Corvanth soldiers. We do not forget such debts. What does humanity seek from this council?" Kate Morrison smiled as she delivered humanity's new position. "We are no longer requesting admission to your defense initiative. We are announcing our availability as allies and partners to any species that wishes to work with us." The subtle shift in language was not lost on the assembled aliens. Humans were no longer supplicants begging for acceptance. They were equals offering cooperation from a position of strength. The hive mind representative buzzed with agitation. "This species advances too rapidly. They threaten the stability of galactic hierarchy. We recommend immediate action to limit their technological development." Admiral Sullivan's expression hardened. "Any attempt to interfere with human space or territory will be considered an act of war. Earth is prepared to defend itself against any threat." The chamber erupted in heated discussions as various factions formed around different responses to humanity's emergence. Some species, particularly those who had been rescued by human intervention, spoke of alliance and cooperation. Others, whose power depended on military superiority, argued for containment or preemptive action. High Counselor Zethran struggled to maintain order as the debate grew more intense. The Council must reach a consensus on how to respond to this development. Humanity has demonstrated both the capability and willingness to use force in defense of galactic peace. Crystal Singer Velta spoke with musical tones that carried across the chamber. "The humans saved my crew when conventional forces would have failed. Their technology could revolutionize galactic defense against threats like the Void Hunters." Admiral Kethvar displayed strategic projections on the main screen. Analysis suggests that human tactical doctrine could reduce casualties in standard engagements by 60%. Their precision weapons minimize collateral damage while maximizing effectiveness. Nexus Prime completed extensive calculations before sharing its conclusions. Probability models indicate that attempting to suppress human advancement would result in prolonged conflict with uncertain outcomes. Cooperation offers greater benefits with acceptable risk levels. Kate Morrison waited for the debates to calm before speaking again. Humanity offers partnership, not domination. We seek to contribute to galactic peace and prosperity through our unique capabilities and perspectives. Dr. Hayes added technical details that captured the attention of scientific representatives. Human research continues in fields that could benefit all species. Quantum engineering, adaptive AI development, and metamaterial applications have civilian uses that could improve life across the galaxy. The voting process took hours as species caucused and negotiated among themselves. Some representatives left the chamber to consult with their home governments about humanity's sudden emergence as a galactic power. When the final tally was announced, the results reflected the new reality of galactic politics. By a significant majority, the Council voted to recognize humanity as a sovereign galactic power and invited Earth to establish formal, diplomatic relations with all member species. War Chief Thrax delivered the most meaningful acknowledgement. The Corvanth Empire formally recognizes human military prowess and offers alliance in the defense of galactic peace. Your warriors have proven themselves worthy of respect.